Welcome out, everybody, to another Windshield Time episode. We are here as usual. It's myself, Brandon, our CEO, and Spencer Schwartz. Welcome out today. Happy to have you.
Hello, windshield wipers.
So today we are talking about something that EOS helps us create, which is your three uniques. So these are three things that set you apart from your competitors. Our three uniques here are: we are locally invested, we are employee owned, and we are relationship focused. So today we're going to talk about being locally invested. The reason why this sets us apart from our competitors is our competitors, a lot of them have the hub and spoke mentality of distribution. So they will go to big metro areas and then they will deliver or find ways of facilitating to the smaller communities through logistics. We do that, but we also tend to go to the smaller locales and smaller communities, and we put brick and mortar there. So we locally invest. On top of that, because we give some latitude to our branch managers that are in those locations, they literally locally invest. So they take a chance with their local communities to invest in, sporting groups or agricultural endeavors or
schools.
4-H, so they literally locally invest on top of us literally locally investing in brick and mortar. So that really does set us apart from our competitors. Not everybody does that. There are national chains out there, that we compete with. A Ferguson or a Core and Main or a Horizon or there's a bunch, our Heritage Group. There's a bunch of them out there that we compete with, but they don't do it the same way we do it. So that really does set us apart.
Yeah, I think I think you hit it right on. That's how I view it too. Is one other aspect too is you kind of alluded to it. We talked about the brick and mortar, but then it's also the inventory.
Yeah.
Because that inventory it's multi-million-dollar. I mean, the smallest branch has $5 million in it, so it's not a small task of doing.
It's not a small investment.
No, it's not a small investment, and it's not a small task to be locally invested.
Yeah.
And it's a little bit of a different approach, and I think the difference from this and back to the three uniques, this is what sets us apart from our competition. Our competition might have one or maybe even two of the three, but there's no one out there that has all three.
Right.
Right, is how we kind of view it. So you might get some other ones that are locally invested.
Right.
They might have a brick and mortar there. It's also employing people from that community is how I look at it too, is we're putting, money back into that community.
Yep.
And then the other thing too is you kind of alluded to is giving back to the community, enriching the community, giving hope is also another aspect that we have there. But this is really, it comes down to, for me, is these big nationals, these big box stores, things of that nature, for them to go into a community. I mean, what's their number one thing? Is it going to be profitable?
Right.
And if it doesn't at all, if it doesn't even come close, then it's like, we're not even going to look at this.
Yeah, they look at population. It has to be a certain threshold in population, and we're not even going to go.
Yep. It's the bottom line. It's the dollars. It's the cents that for them. And for us, I mean, we are concerned about profit. We do want to make money, but at the same time, we're looking at, well, how big of an impact will this have on the community as well? As we look at opening up new stores, or if there's a store that's struggling, not that we've never had to cut a store, knock on wood. We've never had to close down a store. I hope we never have to. But as you look at the different branches that are out there, and some are smaller in these smaller communities, it would be easy for us to say, hey, we're going to close that branch down and we're just going to roll back the operations to the next branch over, and they can just service that with trucks. It actually, we might be a little bit more profitable if we even did that. But I know that we've had the discussion of, well, if we did that, if we pulled out of that community, it would have a huge effect on them.
Yeah.
And so there's been times that we said, okay, it's profitable, it's doing well. We're not going to make that decision because of the community.
Right.
Or there. We do care about our communities that we're in, and we know that we're tied to the hip with them.
Yeah.
And we don't want to leave them. We don't want to abandon them. We don't want to leave them in a lurch.
Yeah, I mean, to your point about closing a location, we've been hard pressed a few times over the years because either a branch is non-profitable because of location reasons or size. West Jordan, that kind of sticks out in my mind. It was an awesome branch in the early 2000s or mid 2000s. We built a brand new branch that was multi-service. It did waterworks, heating, and turf, and it was massive. It was too massive.
Yeah,
and because of that, it was not profitable.
yeah, it was an anchor.
Right. So what do we do? Well, we build a new branch that was literally, nearly a stone's throw. I couldn't throw that far, but maybe somebody could throw that far. But we stayed within the West Jordan community because we trusted that community was invested in us.
Yep.
So we invested in them. The customers had grown accustomed to being in that general area. So we stayed there. It worked out. It was great that it worked out that way. And now we kind of wish we had that bigger store again.
I know,
because business shot through the roof when we moved. So timing is everything too. St. George was similar. We were out into the Fort Pierce area in St. George, Utah for a long time, probably 3 or 4 years, and it was too big too.
Yeah.
And then when we moved back into the more metro area, the Green Springs area, all of a sudden, boom, that branch became profitable because it was the right size. And it was in the highly trafficked area next to a Costco. So it's all timing and location.
And now, just for everybody, if you don't know this, we just signed a lease.
Yeah.
We're taking possession of it. We're supposed to be doing it April 1st.
Yeah.
So depending on when you hear this podcast, but we're taking possession of 48,000 square feet.
48,000 now, and then we'll get another 20,000 next year.
Yeah, so over 60,000, almost 70,000.
Yeah, it'll be our biggest under roof.
Yep.
Yep.
And that's because of the market that we have down there. Vernal was another one that we had.
Yeah.
They were in a bad location. We got them out on the main road. We got a building for them and bigger for them, and now they're doing a lot better out there too. So
absolutely.
This is our mentality is, again, if you haven't heard us say this, it's not about the dollars, it's about the people.
Yep.
Where if we were a normal corporation, if we were a private equity, if we were publicly traded even.
Yeah, we'd have to do it different.
Yeah, we would be looking at the dollars, and we would probably be closing down branches potentially.
Yeah.
Over the years.
Yeah.
Just if we had that aspect, but we've never had that aspect. It's about the people.
Yeah.
It's about our employees, and it's about the community that they live in. We want to take care of both.
Yeah, Pleasant View kind of sticks out too. We loved being in Pleasant View. When it came time for us to move, Pleasant View didn't really want us.
Yeah.
They didn't make it very easy for us to stay in Pleasant View where we wanted to stay. So we moved across the freeway to Far West. Not hard for our customers to follow us there. And as soon as we opened up in Far West, the business increased.
Yeah.
Because we were in a better location with freeway frontage right on the main road.
And how many people came to you afterwards
Oh.
and said, I didn't know you had a store up there, first of all.
Yeah.
And then, by the way, I was going up to Idaho and I saw going up to Logan, and I saw your branch up there off the freeway. It's like, holy cow.
My kids always they laugh at me because anytime we pass
there's a Mountainlands store.
Well, I always take off my hat or put my hand over my heart, like driving down the freeway, you see the mountains. You just got to pause for a minute, put your hand over your heart.
I love it. I love it. Every time we go up to Idaho, because we got family up there.
Yeah.
It's my kids are like, hey, there's a Mountainlands store. It's like,
yeah, there is.
There is. Yep. And then I always do. Well, if you look closely, you can see the Kaysville store too, right there. But it's a little bit more hidden.
The point you made on inventory is huge, though, because our customers, a lot of times they can't plan for their day.
Yep.
If you're a service plumber or a service HVAC tech, and you're going into a service call, you don't know what you're going to get into in there. And hopefully you're upselling that homeowner. They called you for a leak and you're going to sell them a new faucet, or they called you because their damper isn't working on their HVAC and you're going to sell them something else on top of that.
Yeah.
You don't have that in your shop. So we invest in that local inventory so that customer can have that with us.
Yeah.
And not everybody does that. In fact, few people do it, or few companies do it.
Because if you're worried about the dollars, it doesn't make sense.
It's a massive expense.
It is. And that's why you see these other companies,
Yep.
it's the hub and spoke that we kind of talk about.
Yep.
I often get asked, hey, when are we going to have a distribution center? It's
Yeah.
like, well, we kind of have one. We have regional ones.
Yeah.
I don't know though, because our model is not around
different.
that. That's not how we go to market.
Yeah.
Is that way. And I often tell our employees, if you haven't heard this, most of you have probably heard this, but if a customer comes in asking for that item, that means they have a problem.
Yep.
They need it right now, because we all know our customers do not plan well.
No.
So we have to sometimes do the planning for them.
A lot of times.
Yep. So it's it has made our business. That's how we go to market. That's our business model. Could we shave money off?
Yeah.
You probably could, but I would also argue that you might lose some sales.
Well, you're going to lose your identity of who you are.
Exactly. But it's just our business model has proved to work out for us.
Right.
If you go to that model, you might become more profitable. Maybe that profitability goes up. But what's going to happen is I think the profit dollars are actually going to go down.
Yeah.
Because you're going to lose those sales. And it's one of those that I think how we've chosen to go to market is the right way for us.
Yeah. Because
and our customers.
Because that's how we've trained our customers.
Yeah.
We've trained our customers that we will have the inventory for you.
I remember back in the day, I used to work for a quasi competitor. I don't know, when I was 16.
A peer in the industry.
Yeah, a peer in the industry, I would say, on the irrigation side. And I remember I even learned at a young age when I was 16, 17 that, if you don't have it, Mountainland has it.
Yeah.
Just go down the street, Mountainland has it. They have anything and everything.
Yeah.
And there was quite a few times that our customers didn't know this, but we'd say, we can get that for you. And then we would run down to Mountainland and pick it up, buy it, and then sell it to our customer.
Yeah.
So it was kind of funny to have that, but it's been known for years, decades, that if you need something, Mountainland's got it.
Yeah. I was growing up on our farm. We were a customer of Mountainland. And I remember we would go to the place you used to work at before, and they would say, yeah, we don't have that. Looks like something else. We don't have that. Well, who has it? Oh, Mountainland will have it.
Yep.
So then I'd come up to Mountainland, and they're, sure. Like as soon as you come in, yeah, we got that. How many you need? Well, I only need one. And they walk you back to where the bin is at or whatever. They got 80 of them. It's like, wow, you guys have a lot of crap here.
Are you sure you don't need another one?
Yeah, they're like, yeah, take a spare. Okay, I'll take a spare just in case, So yeah, Mountainland has always had that reputation of having the inventory.
Yeah. If you
And
need it, they got it.
And we do try and regulate it some. You can't hang on to old stuff forever. So, we're not going to have these boat anchors that are just sitting out in the yard, but we have a lot of them.
It's our largest asset.
Yeah.
So you have to manage it.
Yeah.
You have to be conscious about it. It's money.
Yeah.
Inventory's money. And we're tying up our money in this inventory. So it's got to be good inventory.
Yeah.
But you're right, Joe. As an auditor,
Yeah.
and we've had auditors come through and they look at a 24-inch tee, not a brass tee, but a
MJT.
Yeah,
cast iron.
Yep, cast iron tee out there. And they're like, you haven't sold one of these for 5 years, so that's obsolete. It's like, bullcrap, it's obsolete.
Yeah.
Like, I could sell that tomorrow.
Yeah.
There's nothing wrong with it. It's perfectly fine.
Yep.
And guess what? I will sell it.
Yeah.
When someone will need it. That's why we have it.
Right.
Because someone's needed it in the past. So we'll have one.
If you can ask anybody who has keys to a branch, they've had a call at night from some municipality needing that type of product.
Exactly.
They need a tee, or they need a valve, or they need a band to fix a water leak. And honestly, that's why we have them, because we need to be that resource for all those municipalities when they have a water break.
Yep.
That is a life-giving resource that we also take on responsibility for. So we take that very seriously. And
Agreed.
we're rewarded for it with the loyalty of a customer base. So we invest locally. We will continue to invest locally as long as Brandon and I are here, obviously.
Amen.
So that's one of our uniques, and we're glad you guys jumped in and listened to it today.
Yep. Thanks, everyone.
All right. Thanks, guys. Have a great day.